Okay, thanks.
Yeah, after the war, a lot of the natives had to go into we put a place up like a great big area, and they had to go in. There wasn't fence. There wasn't no fence in it, but it was most of them were women, and they were Japanese women and native women, and they had to put them. They had to keep them there because they didn't know who they had to go through, and they had to find out who was who and who was where and where they're going to go and this and that. So anyway, we had to go there, and there was maybe 5, 6 of us at a time would stay inside, and we had 2 Japanese girls that used to can talk English. So they were in there, and we'd bring people in, and they would talk to them. Then we'd take them out. We were like guards, but we weren't no guns or nothing. It was just like friendly ones. But I can remember the girls' names. There was one was named Semiko, and one was named Kimiko. That was the girls' names. They're young girls at the time, but then they had to watch out for a lot of the men. The men had to be separate from the women, and that was a lot of the job for the SPs. But we weren't SPs. We were just like we used to bring the girls in so the girls can talk to them. Then we'd bring the girls back to where they were staying, and we'd either take a jeep or whatever we had to bring them, or a wagon and do it. But that was after the war. But then after they got all settled, they let them go where they wanted to go. And we had one guy in our outfit that got to know one real good, and he had a sew machine. But by me being in a motor pool, he wanted someone to take that sew machine to that friend of his, and she gave him directions where to go, and it was quite a ways away. So he asked me if I could get a jeep to take him. I said, well, I'll try. I don't know. So anyway, I told our officers they were great men, great guys. I told them what the score was. He said, we're all going to go home, so we don't want to leave that stuff. So she said, okay, take it to him. So I took it to her. I didn't go in the tent where she or the house she had, but I helped him get it out of the car, sew machine, and he gave the sew machine. I can remember the guy coming out, when he came out, he's a young guy, and he was crying. He says, I hate to leave her, he says, because I know she don't have nothing, So I says, maybe after the war, I says, you can talk to her. Whatever happened to him, I don't know. If he got her to go with him or not, but that's what he gave her. He gave her a sew machine. That was good,
Wow.
Okinawa wasn't that big of an island, but it was big enough that you had to go a long ways,
Well, that was Japanese territory too. That was the homeland.
That's right next to Japanese.
Yeah, that wasn't. That was their home. That was their soil, like Hiroshima.
Yeah.
Were you on Iwo Jima?
No, I went by it. We didn't land on it. No, that was bad. That was pretty rough. The Marines took a big beating there. Marines took a beating. The army guys took a beating on Okinawa. The Marines had to go in after that. I went in with the Marines when I went back. I went right behind them. I went behind them with a bulldozer.
My dad told me a story, and I think he got it from you, of how the Seabees would make fake Japanese souvenirs and sell them to the Army Marines to make money. Is that true?
Yeah, I heard something about that. Yeah, well, yeah.
Okay, you got to tell that story.
I don't remember it too much of that one. No, that's the only thing. I can remember that someone said that these are part Japanese stuff. He says, but we can sell them. He says Seabees can make anything, so I guess they fix them up and they try selling them to them when they come in, But the Marines we got along good with the Marines. Not too good with the Army guys, but the Marines we got along good with.
Why not? Why not?
I don't know. We just were trained by the Marines. I guess that's why. What basic training was Marines.
What were the pilots like that you got to?
Oh, you'd be surprised how they were. And In fact, I go to church here now, and there's a man that was on one of the islands when I was on, and he was a fighter plane pilot. His name is Eric Cairo, and when he was on, I remember the island he was on. He was on one there when I was on it, but I didn't know him at the time. But he was telling me where he was and how he was doing it and that. But he was a fighter pilot, but he was small like me. I'm not that tall, and that's why he got into it. I tried to get into. I got into one of those planes when I was in Okinawa, and it is tight to get into it. Anyway, he ended up as a colonel, a full colonel, and he's still living. He's 94 years old. He's still living. I see him every Sunday. I talk to him.
So he stayed in for a career.
He was in all of them. He says he was in the Navy. He was in the Marines, but he was a pilot. He was pilot for him. So go from one to the other. He retired. He retired out of there. Now he went to work for one of the car factories. He retired from there.
Did you interact at all with the British soldiers there, or just Americans?
Just Americans. There was after the war over in Germany ended, then we probably would have got a lot of people, British coming in. But I had a brother that was over in Germany, and when the war ended there, he told me, he wrote to me and said, I'll probably come up there where you are. He says, no. But then the war ended too, so it didn't work that good. So.
Did you have a feeling that the war was going to end soon? Did you know, or was it a surprise?
I didn't. You didn't realize that at that time. I knew how small Japan was. I didn't realize really how small it was. That they would try to come to the United States and do what they did. I still can't understand why they even attempted to fight the United States. I got a book here. I looked at it the other day. Japan's not any bigger than California, and they wanted to come in and take our country. It doesn't. I mean, I don't know how people could be that way. To even think of what they could do. It's weird. But I think they realize now that they did wrong. I hope they did, because. Yeah.
I had a friend of mine ask me a question, and he told me that I should ask you this. A friend of mine, his name is Chris, because I told him I was coming over. He goes, you should ask your uncle what he thinks of the World War II movies that he sees. Compared to what it was, what does he think of the movies that he's seen? The war movies, that was it.
Very overrated. The movies are very overrated. Yeah, I mean, when they see him now, now Germany, they don't have too much. They have some of the ones fought in the jungles and that, but I think Germany was more. The movies in Germany were more overrated than anything. They pushed too much of it into it. A lot of it happened, but not that bad. Some of it, I don't think. It was bad enough, but not like how they want to push it. This and that. Fighting in Germany and fighting in out in the jungles is a lot different than jungle. The jungle is. I know it's cold out there, and you're freezing, and out in Germany in that area, but jungles it's hot, and water, you got no water. Out there you can take snow and eat it. Our water was terrible when we first got over there. And you had mosquitoes, you had malaria where we are, and all that. So I don't know. That's I think they exaggerate a lot in the movies.
That's what he thought too.
Yeah.
He's